From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big night on Evenings LALATE as big money's coming to Americans. We'll go over the huge money and how you get it from the shores of Santa Monica, California. $100 to $200,000, 100 to 200 checks are available, and it's been available all week long. In fact, it's been available since the month of March. We'll go over this huge money, why it's so important to get it tonight, because there's a pivoting happening. Not with the Federal Reserve, but with Wall Street realizing the Federal Reserve is not going to stop with those interest rate spikes. We'll have the breaking news on what the Federal Reserve governor said today and why Wall Street may have finally woken up. We'll have the big news tonight from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Big money in tonight's broadcast, and that big money is available, lifetime of stimulus, and no less than 14 categories of checks. You're going to need them because there's an earnings recession also underway, plus there's also a housing recession underway. We'll go over the impact of both parts of this economy tonight from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Plus, we'll be going over the big lift of your benefits, going up $5,000 for some of you less, some of you more. But the big news is that there is big stimulus, lots of it. And how much? Well, the first three categories of checks, which I found in the month of March, are $100,000. Yes, $100,000. But since then, I've got to new more categories. We are now up to 14 categories of 100 to 200 checks, and they pay a lot. $100 to $200,000. Dragon, $145,000. Lorraine, $150,000. Mark, $166,000. We'll see these big sums of money in every U.S. state you qualify for it. How do you get it? You stay the big second half of this recording. I'm going to go over every single check one at a time with you. But first, you go into the video and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. We have a lot of major developing details tonight as Leo Brenner, the number 2 at the Federal Reserve, spoke about interest rate spikes and also the Federal Reserve today and inflation. And she said that lobster shorts are coming into vogue. No, she did not. But that's what Wall Street's doing. They're taking the Fed words and turning it into something else. They also said that $12 ice creams taste the same as $10 ice cream. It doesn't, but that's what Wall Street's trying to tell you. And they're also trying to tell you that the Federal Reserve is going to stop with its interest rate spikes. So we'll have the latest details across the board from the shores of Santa Monica, California tonight. It's a big recording, and the breaking news starts right here, right now on Evenings. And good evening, everybody. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, it is a September 7th, 2022, and tonight we have a lot of money to go over with you. A lifetime of stimulus, because once your stimulus goes up, it never goes down. What is that referring to? Lifetime benefits. We'll go over how much money you're getting and how it works. Plus, we'll be looking at those 14 categories of stimulus, 100 to 200 checks, plus the breaking news coming out of the Federal Reserve today, and what you need to know and why it's impacting so many parts of this economy. Then we'll be turning to the earnings recession. More companies downward guiding. The latest tonight is across the board. We're just approximately 3 days away from that August CPI, released about September 10th, and we'll go over what's going on with inflation and the raise of your benefits. Then we'll be jumping over the housing market. New data today suggests some markets have shown the prices falling astronomically. Not just a few points down. Plus, we'll be looking at inflation and where it's sending your benefits. A lot of news and a lot of major impacts upon your benefits. We're going to go over all that and more in tonight's broadcast. Plus, what is she having in her eye? If you know what's in her eye, jump in the live chat and write what is in her eye. If you don't know, then take a guess. And we'll go over what she's doing and why she's coming around to us. Oh boy, it's a big broadcast from the shores of Santa Monica, California. It's all heating up, and it all starts right now on a big Evenings LA. Tonight we start, of course, with that major stimulus. 14 categories, 100 to 200 checks, all law, all passed, all in every U.S. state you qualify. It had started on this channel back in the month of March with just 3 categories, and tonight is at 14 categories. It was then $100,000. Now it's nearly $200,000. It was then just a few checks. Now tonight, it's a 100 to 200 checks. How do you get them? We're going to go over all these incredible checks passed in every U.S. state for you, and we're going to go over all of them in just a second. But first, let's start with the major developing details tonight across the board. And of course it is, yes, the Federal Reserve. The breaking news tonight is that the Federal Reserve had a series of governors test speak at conferences today. And what did they say? Basically the same thing they said for the last few months. But Wall Street had not been getting it and not understanding. And did they get it today? I don't think they did. The breaking news right tonight is that Leo Brainard, the number 2 at the Federal Reserve, said the following comments late today. So far, we have expeditiously raised the policy peak rate of the cycle, but the policy rate will need to go further higher. We are in this for the long, as it will take to get inflation down. The breaking news starts right now with the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is established to do 2 things. Keep price stability, which is reduce inflation, and also to get maximum employment. Well, Brainard made it very clear today that we cannot leave inflation where it is because people get entrenched and think this is the normality of having overpriced $12 ice cream. With a series of inflationary shocks, it's especially important to guard against the risk that households could start to believe inflation is going to remain above where it should be, she said in comments today. Brainard's comments are not alone because guess what's happening all this week? We have Fed governors speaking, and Thursday, a biggie. Jay Powell will be testifying tomorrow at the Cato Institute in a Q&A session. I'll have his comments then. Brainard was the latest governor of the Federal Reserve who has made it very clear over the last 3 months. The Federal Reserve is going to raise interest rates until they get inflation to 2%. Where is inflation tonight? 8.6%. How long has it been over there? Since January. How long have they moved it? How much have they moved it down? About a half a percentage point in 9 months. Does it move fast? No, it does not move fast down. So tonight, for the first time on Evenings LALATE, I'm saying the following for you as my predictions on this channel. And I've been really right on predictions. The first to project and predict a recession early this year. The first to predict inflation at 8% last year. And to stay around for us. Tonight, I have a new prediction. And the new prediction is Federal Reserve will not get inflation to 2% by the end of the year, and will be doing interest rate spikes clearly into 2023, and may likely stay with a lot of 75 basis point increases further than we initially thought. I reported over the last few weeks that the Federal Reserve is going to do 75, I believe, in September to December, and yet Wall Street today was back with that, oh my God, look. You know, the one where there's a soap opera scene and someone who is the illegitimate child from Willow Hollow that disappeared 3 seasons ago reappears, and you thought that illegitimate child was dead, coming because the will announcement's going to be read. And you say, oh, you're back? I thought you were dead. Yeah, that's the reaction that Wall Street had today when Brainard said we're going to stay with us for a while. Come on already. Federal Reserve has had Brainard, Boulard, and Jay Powell all say the same thing over the last 3 months. And every time Wall Street says, I'm shocked, I just look at them and say, get the $12 ice cream out of the eyes. Traders now have an 82% projection that the Federal Reserve will have a 75 basis point increase in September. Really? Only 82%? It should be like 120% at this point. And that is just for the first September meeting. After that, they're trying to tell you that the Federal Reserve is going to pivot, and the Federal Reserve is really unhappy with Wall Street. Jay Powell, Brainard, and the other governors have all said, we're staying with it. And this notion that we're pivoting, we're changing course, we never said that, and please stop saying that. That, my friends, is why you have to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. You got to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state, because if inflation is where it's going to be, as I'm projecting tonight on Evenings LALATE, that means that $5 milk you're paying for at the supermarket that you want gone and back down to $2.50 ain't going back down to $2.50 anytime soon. That inflated price of bacon that is keeping bacon from the set of the show every day and was not on the show even when the bacon was cheaper is really one of the major problems. If that inflation stays so high, that's why you have to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Let's go over this incredible money across the board. Become a member, Purple Hawk Purple Power, Casino VIP. There were 3 categories of checks that became law by the President of the United States in the month of March, and viewers have gotten them ever since. And then we got more checks thereafter. Let's go over the history of these 4 stimulus checks. The first 3 were passed by Congress, passed by the President of the United States by executive action in the month of March. You qualify. You qualify for all these incredible checks. Single individual, $75,000, let's go get it. Married couple, $150,000, let's go get it. And if you are on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, you qualify. How do you get them? You go onto the video, become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. But it's the duration, the rollout of these checks has been really exciting. So exciting across the board. The first 3 categories were passed by the President of the United States in the month of March, and I've labeled them as checks A, B, and C. They're federal stimulus in every U.S. state, and viewers have got to them. Like the viewer Frank Mancuso out of Florida has got to them. Like the other viewer out of Florida got $80,000 to $100,000 of checks. Like Mark, who got massive sums of money, got $66,000 from check B. Massive sums of money passed the month of March, and viewers have gotten them. That's check A, B, and C. You qualify. We'll go over all those checks in just a second in the second half. Then, Purple Power, we got more exciting news. Because why? I found for you 3 Sundays ago the passage of a bill from Congress that established 7 new categories. A lot more checks. Those are checks E through K. My goodness. And then 2 weeks ago, I found more checks, L and M. The breaking news on checks L and M is that is even more money. And then last week, checks N and O. Lots of money. And so how much money are we talking about now? We're talking about $100,000 to $200,000 for the Purple Power. 100 to 200 checks. You go onto the video, become a member, and get those incredible sums of money in every U.S. state. In the big second half, we're going to go over all this exciting money, and we'll learn what is in her eye. Jump in the live chat if you know what's going on in her eye. We'll answer this big catch-all question. It's all about this channel. Those big checks are not the only checks you're going to see. You're also going to see the raise of your benefit, lifetime of stimulus. And that lifetime of stimulus is the benefit raises. Your benefits are going up. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and railroad benefits. How much? Some of you 5,000, some of you less, some of you more. All of you the same percentage. And when are we going to learn more about this? In about 3 days. In about 3 days, on September 10th, approximately, we will get the August CPI. That'll give us an indication of where your benefits are going up. Because remember, as featured on this channel since the month of May, 3 months determine your benefits. They are July, released last August, August released this September 10th, and then September released October 10th. We'll go over the calculation of those benefits in just a second later in this recording. The other major breaking story tonight is the housing market, and the housing market continues to go from bad to worse. In the month of July, the new home starts were down. The existing home builders' confidence was down, and the existing home sales were down. But 2 nights ago, we saw the real implosion when the price of homes, the average price of homes in the United States, fell dramatically. It is now down 14% compared to August of 2021. That's year to date. And then when you compare to August of 2019, it's down nearly 40%. That's the average price of a home sold in America. That's a major drop. Then we also had over the weekend data that showed that 1 in 5, that's 20%, of all sellers of homes cannot get their asking price. So they're having to drop the price of the home. So the price of homes have dramatically fallen. What do we learn tonight about this housing recession that has been underway in this U.S. economy since May? Well, number 1, we have a new report that says basically what we always thought, that May was the peak of the housing season, and that from there in it started to fall apart. Data suggests that the taping of the home equity market really ended in May. That May was basically the downward trend. Home prices fell 1 percentage point from June to July. And then compared to January 2021, they've had the largest single, and that was the largest single drop, according to Black Knight, since January of 2021. Annual home prices appreciations still came in at over 14%, but in market characterization, the volatility and rapid change as today, such backwards metrics can be misleading, says Brad Gabrowski, president of Black Knight. Roughly 85% of markets have seen prices come down tonight, And then we have prices falling, in some cases, even more dramatically. Grabowski says the following tonight. Some of the nation's most successful markets are seeing the biggest fall prices across the board. Are you ready to see these numbers? I'm shocked. Decline in home values fell on average 5%, but let's look at where it happened even more dramatically. From April to July this year, San Jose lost 20% of its valuation in home equity. So that means the prices of homes went down 20% between April and July. Seattle down 18%, San Diego down 14%, San Francisco down 14%, and Los Angeles down 10%. The reason why is sort of obvious. You can't afford a home. You can't afford a home. And this is big news because in the second half of this video, I have stimulus NOM that all concern stimulus for the home that help you be able to afford the home. You're going to want that big stimulus in the big second half because look at this data right now. The mortgages last year were hovering around 3%. The 30-year fixed mortgage tonight surged from 5.8% last week, 5.8, that's really high, to an eye-watering, shockingly high, 5.94% tonight. It's nearly 6% the average 30-year fixed mortgage in the United States. The mortgage application for refi is down 83%. 83% of the mortgage refi market is gone in the last year. Mortgage applications down 23% year to date because no one can afford a 6% mortgage to buy a home. Can you? Of course you can. But you may be able to if you stay the second half because I got you stimuluses L, M, N, and O, which concern the buying of that home. Mike Frantonelli, MBA Senior Vice President and Chief Economist, says mortgage rates move higher over the course of last week as markets still reassess the prospects for the economy and the path of monetary policy could still go higher. Home applications dropped 1% week to week, but they're 23% year to date. Frantonelli added, recent economic data will likely prevent any significant decline in mortgage rates in the near term. Basically, get ready to see these rates of 6% mortgages for a long time. This, my friends, is why I have to get that forced stimulus check at every U.S. state. If the housing industry is falling apart, then what else is falling apart in this U.S. economy? And why else do you need that stimulus check? Well, over the last few weeks, I have detailed on the channel the notion of a financial cliff. Financial cliff I always put at this month, September. I got to tell you, I don't see any good data coming in for the month of September. Wall Street will try to tell you they found something good somewhere, somehow, some lifter left. But I got to tell you, the data across the board is that the mortgage rates are among the things that are potentially going higher. This graphic is nearly 4 months old. Price of goods going higher, recessionary winds picking up, and mortgage rates going up. I said it nearly 4 months ago, and guess what has happened in the last 90 days? It has happened. That's why you got to get this money. What will also happen in the next 90 days? I said 90 days ago, confidence was going to go down. It has. Builder confidence gone away completely. Spending going down, absolutely. Discretionary income going down a lot. And here again is that major graphic. That's why you got to get the stimulus. Look at that graphic. We are now in phase 2, according to my projections, September, where a financial cliff hits and Americans think that the good days are here to stay and they're not. That's why you got to get those big sums of money. Go into this video, become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. One of the great benefits of being a member are the worksheets. And those worksheets are a great place to keep track of all that stimulus. And one of the things to remember tonight when you look at this stimulus is that there is a lot of checks to get. When I say there's 100 to 200 checks to get, you got to keep track of all that. And this helps you keep track of those 100 to 200 checks you're going to apply for. It's called the worksheets. Where is it? In the membership newsletter for members, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Around the third line, remember that membership newsletter is delivered to all the members of LATE 1, LATE 2, and LATE 3, all the members to all 3 broadcasting channels in this broadcasting family. Page 1, what do we know tonight about inflation? So inflation tonight, we're about 2 days away, potentially, from that August CPI, released around September 10th, to give us an indication what's going on. But here's my takeaway, my projection, is that the headline inflation may be coming down, but the component parts could be going up. I think it may be a wash. or could be coming down a little bit. Why? Because gasoline has definitely gone down, but we don't know about the rent. I think the rent has gone up, and that's 30% of inflation. We'll have more about that in just a second. Recession. 2 negative quarters of GDP growth have been posted in the U.S. economy. Housing recession, and also the corporate recession. Companies are really taking a bath. We'll have the latest details on that in just a second in this recording. Labor, tomorrow morning on Mornings LA, I'll have the latest details on the new jobless claims number. It had fallen from 260 to 230, but it was really still higher than the month of April. That was 144. In fact, 230 is very still high. It was 240, 245 the week before. And remember the unemployment rate. It's now come back up higher, 0.2 of a percentage point higher. And that's up from where it was before, the lowest since 1969. And the Federal Reserve. What am I saying about that Federal Reserve? I'm saying if you look at the comments today from Brainard, if you look at the comments from Bowman and Daly and Boulard, the narrative is very clear. The narrative is very clear that to battle inflation, they're going to raise those interest rates. The inflation is not going to come down that quickly. That they're not going to go to 200%, 200-point interest rate spikes. They're going to do 75 and stop at that. It's going to take a long time. And how long? It's going to take you into 2023. And as Wall Street continues to bet against that, they continue to lose. And as they continue to bet against that, then the stock market continues to crash. We'll have more about this tomorrow on LALATE as well. The next page of those incredible worksheets are where people are winning. Why? Because there is so much stimulus, you need to keep track of all the stimulus you're applying for. Again, this is in every U.S. state you qualify, and you want to go get it. Let's look at page 2 of the PDFs. It's a page. These PDFs are incredible. You just print it out from your computer or cell phone. Page 2 had around 30 rows when I created it, but now there's not 30 checks to apply for it anymore. Now there's 100, 200 checks. So you want to have multiple copies of the second row. How many checks are there per category? When I say 1 and 1, that means 1 check in that 1 category. Let's go over the details right now. Check A, 1 and 1. 1 category, 1 check. Check B and C. 1 category, about 100 checks in there. And check C has about 12 places to reach out to. Yeah, that's a lot of checks. So you're going to have a lot of places and a lot of opportunities as a member to get your stimulus. Checks E through K passed by Congress 3 weekends ago. 1 category, 1 check. 7 of them. And then L and M and N and O found by me for you over the last 2 weeks. Half of them are 1 category, half of them are 1 check. The Purple Hawks have been really cleaning up, and let's go over some of your success stories in recent days. Lynn Glenn has got an incredible 12 months of utilities, and another viewer did as well. 2 viewers have gotten 14 months of rent. Then we have the wonderful Dragon, longtime viewer and longtime volunteer to the community page. She got $148,000. And the success stories continue with Spelly, who got check A and also got check C. We have the wonderful Frank Mancuso, who got this just a few days ago. 18 months of mortgage, 18 months of utilities, 18 months of free high-speed internet. That's a lot of money. And then we have another viewer out of Florida who got a whopping 18 months of mortgage, 18 months of all her utilities. If it's 4 utilities a month plus that mortgage, 18 times 5, that is nearly 100 checks just for her alone. It's incredible. That's why you want to become a member. Go right on this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. In that second table, that second page, you want to keep track of all your stimulus you apply for. She had done it. She just didn't look at it. And then the state of Florida reached out to her and said, ma'am, you've been approved. 18 months times 5 checks approximately. That's 80 to 100 checks and about $80 to $100,000. Incredible. Congratulations to her. If you've had a success story, post in the live chat. You inspire other people and send it to me on private message. I'll feature it on air. The next page of the worksheet is the raise your benefits. We'll go over that in 1 second. Also the gasoline, which is interesting. We'll go over that before your benefits. International price of Brent crude has come down quickly. It was going up before about a week and a half ago, 10 days ago, to 104, and now it's pulled back to 92. Domestic unleaded has really fallen dramatically, down 10, 20 cents every day. It is clearly under $4 nationwide average. Of course, not the case in California, but that is the nationwide average across the board. So this is big news now that you understand that, because now we're going to go into your raising your benefits. Your benefits are going up a lot. And they're dependent upon what we just went over. Inflation. And where is that inflation and why are your benefits going up and how much will your benefits go up? Let's go over everything you need to know starting right now. Your benefits are tied to inflation and they will be going up a lot. We call this on this channel lifetime stimulus because let's say your benefits go up 10% this year, that would be lifetime. Not just this year, but a lifetime. And then if your benefits go up 2% next year, that would be 2% on top of the 10%. Incredible. Now let's look at your benefits overview and then we'll go into the inflationary calculation to determine how much your benefits are going up. Some of you, $5,000, they'll go up. Some of you less, some of you more. You, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. Direct deposit, otherwise the mail, you don't have to do anything, and 3 months of data determines it. Yes, the July CPI released August 10th. The August CPI released on around September 10th in 10 days, 3 days from now. And then the September one released on October 10th. So where is inflation going? Well, inflation is going up a lot. It tracked to a whopping 8.5%, 8.6% in the month of May, and then continued to go higher. In the month of July, it came back a little bit, but let's look at the progression of this CPI in just a short period of time. Remember, this is the highest we've seen of a generation. That's why your benefits are going up the highest of a generation. Here's what happened with that consumer price index, the CPI, what you pay for milk and eggs in May. 8.6%. Incredible. And then June, where did it go? 9.1%. My goodness. July pulled back a little bit to 8.5%, but the component parts went higher. So now let's jump into where I think your benefits are going to go. July, the PPI was beating. This is how much the wholesaler pays. The retail sales was beating, and the CPI was beating. But tonight, the retail sales was flat. Last week, the PPI was flat. And the component parts of the CPI, well, this is where it gets interesting. Last Friday, we learned that the numbers for wage inflation were actually higher. So tonight, which items are lower and which items are higher? This is where it gets really interesting. First, let's go over other people's projections and let's go over our own. The Seniors League, when looking at the situation, said your benefits are going to go up about 10.1% based upon that last CPI print of about 8.6%. Do I agree? It's really hard to tell. One of the reasons it's hard to tell is I don't have any data for rent, and rent is 30% of inflation. Gasoline is also a significant part of inflation. Gasoline has come down a lot. International Brent crude and domestic unleaded. And so at least the CPI that's going to be released in a few days is going to have that lower gasoline. We don't know about the next one because the next month is when a lot of hurricanes hit and they take refineries offline. Wages went up. Rent certainly didn't go down, may have gone up. And then milk and eggs, really a hard read on this. The flat, maybe a little bit higher, certainly didn't go down a lot. What do I think? It's a little hard to tell. When the international price of Brent crude was higher, I said, yeah, I think the Seniors League is undervaluing it. Now it's really hard to tell, but remember, we're only halfway through the duration. We have to see 3 months of data. So watch this channel over the next 3 days as we get that lead in and then the announcement on the CPI. Then we'll have the PPI, and then we'll have the retail sales right after. Remember, your benefits are not tied to the headline of CPI. So if the headline of CPI comes from 8.6 down to, let's say, 8 or 8.1, don't react negatively because your benefits are not tied to the parent number, CPI. It's the sub part of it, the CPI-W, which eliminates some component parts to calculate how much your benefits go up. Once your benefits go up, they never go down. Your benefits are tied to something called COLA, cost of living adjustment, and it's determined by 3 months of data of the CPI-W, July, August, and September. And this, my friends, is why I have to get a force stimulus check in every U.S. state, and you have to become a member. In the membership newsletter, we detail this all towards the bottom, the raise of your benefits. In the membership newsletter, you can also run these numbers. You can run these numbers. Remember, if benefits go up 10% and you make $1,000 currently, you get $1,100. If benefits go up 10%, you make $800, you get $880. That's one of the ways you can calculate across the board. Thank you for all the kind comments I've been getting on those great questions. We'll be going over all these incredible checks with you in the big second half. Then we'll be cutting back to what Wall Street and the Federal Reserve are doing and not doing. It's fascinating. First, you need to become a member and get ready for all these checks as we go over each of them one at a time in the big second half. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, see you in 60 seconds as Evenings LA continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now in the big second half of the beautiful September 7th, 2022. From the shores of Santa Monica, California. In this big second half, we're going to go over these 100 to 200 checks that have now passed, and you deserve them. 14 categories and a lot of checks. Go get them. Go under the video, become a member, and get that purple power. You can do it. Get that big stimulus. You deserve it. Financial freedom is yours. Plus, we'll be looking at what's happening this week and what we're looking for with J Powell's comments tomorrow as well. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, good evening. Hope you're having a beautiful night. And coming up later in this recording, we're going to see if you predicted right as to what is in her eye. What is in her eye? Jump on the live chat if you haven't voted yet. I'd love to see your comments. Do you notice that eyeball? Really interesting. It has to do with this channel and this broadcasting family. In this big second half, we're going to go over all these incredible checks, starting right now. The President of the United States in the month of March passed the first 3 checks, A, B, and C. And they're huge, and viewers have been getting them since the month of March. 100,000, 60,000, 80,000. We're going to go over all those checks starting right now. The first of those 3 checks, A, B, and C, of course, is check A. $6,500 to $12,000, a forcible check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, you get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, you get it. How do you get it? Go under the video, become a member. Join where it says on the video, join the channel. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. You then get that membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alerts. Go down to where it says Check A, click the link, go right in, apply, and go get that weatherizing grant. That is the money that Speller got. Incredible sums of money. The next check is Check B. Check B is huge. It is $50,000 to $8,000, but some people have gotten a lot more than that. How do you get that incredible Check B? You go under the video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. And welcome to all the new members, welcome to all the returning members, and welcome to all the upgrading members. Remember, if you're a member of any of the 3 channels, you get the membership newsletter. And congratulations to Margaret, the first triple member to all 3 channels, LA1, LA2, and LA3 of this broadcasting family. Dragon became a triple member, and then we had Susie and Barbara, who became double members. If you become a double or triple member, send me a private message. I'll feature you on air if I don't catch it myself. Then you're going to go down to Check B in the membership newsletter where it says there, and you click the link, you go in, write, and apply. So simple. That's $100,000. Check A and B. We're not done there yet. We're going to go get some Check C. Rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. It's incredible, and we've been getting this Check C for a long time. Become a member, and in the membership newsletter, it tells you who to call, what to say, and how to say it. Check C is a lot of checks with 12 opportunities to get that incredible stimulus. 12 opportunities to get that incredible stimulus. And those success stories for Check C have been on this channel for nearly 2 years. It's the residue of third stimulus. And let's look at some of those success stories for Check C. That should be your success story as well. $20,000 to $30,000 for rent, go get Check C. $7,000 for utilities, go get check C. But Ling Glen got even more than that. She got 12 months of utilities. Then we had a wonderful viewer. Another viewer got 12 months of utilities. Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000. That same brother-in-law got $250,000 over 10 years for SNAP. And combinations of checks. Niece was at $23,000. She went to $50,000. Mark was at $32,000. He went to $50,000 and then $166,000. Yes, you heard me right. $166,000. Here's Lorraine. She was at $105,000 and then she went to $155,000. And that's how you rock and roll. You go into this video, subscribe, number one. Number two, go into the video and join the channel, Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Pounce as a Purple Hawk while this money's around. Do not wait to become a member. And then make sure you hit all the alerts on all three channels so you get a notification when all this money comes out. It's incredible, and you deserve all these sums of money. And we're not done there yet. We're going to get more starting right now. The next 7 categories of stimulus were passed by the Congress no less than 3 Sundays ago. And they're huge. 7 categories of checks. And what are they? Let's go over those 7 categories. They're all in the membership newsletter right after checks A, B, and C. Check E, $7,500. Check F, $4,000. Check G, 30% off. Check H, $2,000. Check I, $8,000. Check J, $8,000. Check K, $14,000. Huge. Those are checks E through K. How do you get them? You become a member. You go right into the membership newsletter, down to E through K. But my dedication doesn't stop there at all for you. I keep on looking for new checks, and I found new checks for you 2 weeks ago. Checks L and M. When I reported early in this recording that the mortgage rate is nearly at 6%, and that the mortgage refi is down 88%, well, guess what I got for you? Cheap mortgages. Number 1 is check L. About $100,000 on average of loan interest-free money for the purchase of a home. Can you imagine? When mortgages are 6%, LALATE is finding you loan interest-free mortgages with $100,000 on average, and I'm not done there yet, check M, $4,000 of free grant money. That's your money to keep. That's closing costs, $4,000 of it. I'm not done there yet because I got more of that money in Stimulus O in a second. But before Stimulus O, I want to go into Stimulus N. Stimulus N is one of the most exciting stimuluses on this channel in a long time. Why? Because I know you love this. I love free bacon. You love free internet. We are apples in a pie. Stimulus N is insane. It is free internet or discounted internet for millions of Americans, but it doesn't end there at all. No. Do you want a laptop, desktop, computer, or tablet, brand new from a participating provider? Well, Stimulus N also includes $100 for the purchase of that item. And since most tablets are under $100 and are brilliantly fast and the latest technologies, this is a great opportunity for you. Stimulus N, like Nancy. Then comes Stimulus O. As if that couldn't get any better, are you ready for Stimulus O? Stimulus O is 0 down payment, 0 closing costs mortgage with 0 insurance payments with no mortgage insurance needed and no minimum credit score required. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. And that is the true spirit of the Purple Power. That is Stimuluses A through O, 100 to 200 checks, $100 to $200,000. You qualify. Single individual, $75,000 less. Go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less. Go get it. How do you get it? You go into the video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. So what is she looking at? Look at that eyeball. Isn't that fascinating? What is that eyeball? Well, that eyeball, if you guessed as the cryptocurrency coin Decentraland, you got it right. Coming to LALATE 3, the third broadcasting channel of this broadcasting family, that's LALATE 3, is the debut of the show you've been talking about for a very long time. It is Metaverse. Metaverse is coming to LALATE 3. It's a brand new show that's going to put you and I and this whole family on the map for cryptocurrency. I need you to jump over to LALATE 3. Subscribe to that channel. It's free to subscribe. And do not miss that show when it debuts. It's not debuting tonight yet, but it has been filmed. It's about the metaverse. It's exciting. It's fun. It's easy. It's breezy. I want you to learn more. I want you to expand your horizon so that when you're at the local supermarket, on the front porch of your neighbor, you're talking about the metaverse, they'll look at you and say, how did you learn this? You'll say from LALATE. I learned it from LALATE. You don't need to be buying any coins. You don't need to be investing in anything. If you want to, you can. I'll show you how to make money. It's just a lot of fun, a lot of information, and a lot of enjoyment. It's coming to LA3, the metaverse, in just a few days. Meantime, tonight, did you catch it earlier today? If you missed it, you can jump on and watch right now. At 4 o'clock, Sirloin, Javita Light, and Blaine 66, we're back for another installment of Calcino Season 1. Tonight, Episode 2. If you missed it, you can jump over to LALATE 2. It is now taped on that channel. Right after that was Tier 2, Episode 2 with Blaine 66 at caller ID number 666. Yeah, just returned from hell. Literally. And what was he dealing with? He was dealing with some EIDO applications. We'll see the latest details on that on LA2. Jump over there to see that double header. If you like the humor programming, keep on watching on LA2, where the membership numbers have really taken off. Membership, can we get us to 50 members by the end of the month? Maybe 100 members? We are zooming like rapid fire on LA2. Meantime, people have been asking about the deliciousness of cooking. It is coming to LA3 and it has been filmed and will be delivered within just days. The Toast is Toasting, the new cooking show coming to LA3 within just a few days across the board. Purple Hawks have been very good on pouncing when information is keen and when they know the information. But one group that has not been pouncing well has been a group that should know more than us. And yet they've been getting it really wrong, that they've been setting themselves up for peril. Who are they? They're not crypto traders, although some of them have not been doing well on that front either. They are Wall Street. And Wall Street has really been getting it wrong when it comes to, yes, again, the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is meeting that FOMC meeting in just a few days from now, and when they meet, they're going to do an interest rate spike. We know that. That's easy. 75 basis point. But Wall Street thinks that this is some big surprise. It's not a big surprise. Why are we even suggesting that it's even a slight surprise across the board? That's number one. Number two, Wall Street still does not have the understanding that they're going to see this going on for a while. Because inflation's not going down today. It ain't going down tomorrow. That's number two. Number three, the latest details is that when you look at your benefit raises, your housing market, your unemployment, your forced stimulus, it's all being impacted tonight by inflation. And yet it's still not going down. The problem we're having is the following. You and I all understand that inflation takes a while to go down. It's at 8.5, 8.4, 8.6, somewhere around there. And it needs to go to 2%, says the Federal Reserve. It doesn't drop to 2% in 1 week or 1 month. And then Wall Street keeps on telling you, well, the Federal Reserve is going to do 1 more meeting or 2 more meetings or just a little bit of an interest rate spike. And they keep on acting as though they're surprised. Ridiculous? Absolutely ridiculous. It's nonsense. I got to tell you, it was in July that I told you the Federal Reserve is going to do interest rate spikes for the whole rest of the year, 75 basis points. Told you again in August. And tonight, still Wall Street said, I'm shocked by Leo Brainard's comments. Excuse me? Her comments are literally verbatim what the other governors have said at the Federal Reserve over the last 2 months. That's number one. Number two, Wall Street keeps on talking about 30 days out, 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out. They don't talk about 4 months out. Well, maybe in September. Well, maybe this last time. Come on. When have you ever seen inflation drop from 8 to 2% in 1 month? It ain't going to happen. And then about the magnitude of the spikes. I think this is where it gets sort of ridiculous. Wall Street says, 75 basis point? I'm shocked. What do you expect the Federal Reserve to do? 25 basis point? 1 basis point? They got to get this inflation to 2%. And why would they do something less than 75? Now, I'm even wondering why Wall Street isn't talking about 100 basis point. Because they've done 75 for 2 meetings in June and July and it hadn't worked. This is a big problem for you. Why? Because it hurts the bottom line. It hurts the economy. When Wall Street does not embed the risks into the markets and keep on telling you great times are here to stay, they're not here to stay, those great times. And tonight we have more data about the lack of great times for here to stay. When we turn to the earning numbers tonight. The earnings numbers tonight are not any better than they were the night before. More companies reported earnings today. And what were their moves? And what happened? Let's look at those earning numbers tonight from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Lululemon rallied 9.5% on the news today, but then Broadcom rose as well. The news is not all consistently good because when you jump into tonight's data, well, here we go. Tonight we had Coupa Software surging 11.6% on better than expected news, but with that, we had UiPath plunging 22% when they downward guided for the whole rest of the year. Neo down 5.67%. Newell Brands downward guiding for the whole rest of the year, 5.4% down. And AstraZeneca, you know, the vaccine company, downgraded when they gave guidance downward for the whole rest of the year. I mean, it's like I'm recording the same recording nightly. Another company, downward guiding for the whole rest of the year. Housing market in shambles and getting worse. Corporate America, yeah, some companies will survive like a Facebook. Some companies will survive like a Ford or a Boeing. But other companies are just not going to survive. It's a 2-year recession. And yes, we understand that there's an Apple event coming up. And they'll sell as many Apple iPhones this year as they did last year. We got it. But housing falling apart. Corporate America really falling apart. Labor will fall apart. It falls apart late in a recession. And mortgage industry falling apart. Interest rates going through the roof. And yet, what do we have out there? What do we have out there? We have people out there that really are in another mindset. And I got to tell you, I can see the financial cliff in front of them. And it doesn't look good. They are those people, many of them have channels, that are showing you how much they're spending on debt. Excuse me? You shouldn't have one penny on debt, let alone $100,000 of debt or $200,000 of debt. And yet they're spending debt like it's out of style, taking exclusive trips, buying beautiful items for themselves, all in debt, which they admit is debt. And you think to yourself, wait a second. Are they betting on no more interest rate spikes from the Federal Reserve as well? Because I got to tell them, listen, your credit card debt or whatever instrument you use to buy these items on debt is going higher. And it ain't going higher for one more month. It's going higher for a long time. All those people out there, and I want you to do this for yourself tonight, all those people out there that you pass on the street, that you see on TV, that you see on cable, you see anywhere, that you read in the paper or see at the bus stop, that are running up their debt like it's going out of style, you have to pause and say, thank goodness that's not me, because I'm not doing that. You can't run up debt. If the Federal Reserve is going to have interest rate spikes in September, October, November, December, because remember, that's 5 months of spikes, and we are likely not to get inflation to 2% by December. That means more spikes next year. Imagine that person who bought that instrument or that item or that trip on debt in July this year, June, early August, on the belief that the Federal Reserve, is done with those interest rate spikes. I can live with the interest rate I have right now. No, you can't. Remember the data that came in earlier today on that mortgage number. Did you see how much that mortgage rate went up in 1 week? From 5.8, was it 5.8% to 5.9%? I'm doing it off the top of my mind, top of my memory. It was just an astronomical jump in 1 week. Yeah, that is it. It was no, it was actually higher. It was 5.80, the 30-year fixed mortgage last week. Tonight is 5.94. That's a quarter of a percentage point in 1 week. Quarter of a percentage point in 1 week. We're only in September. Imagine if we have interest rate spikes, September, October, November, December, January, February, that's 6 months. And those interest rate spikes will be significant. And you're seeing the mortgage rate going up a quarter of a percentage point in 1 week. Yeah. As Terry Rose once said, thank you, LA, for telling me to get rid of my adjustable rate debt. Absolutely. Get rid of it at home. Get rid of that adjustable rate debt right away and get as much stimulus in your wallet, because ultimately you have to err on caution. This situation is very, very dicey. And the people who rolled the dice and betted against it are many of the analysts on Wall Street, saying that the stocks would continue to rally up. They did not. The crypto would continue to rally up. They did not. And we're back down to the lows practically in June, 52-week lows. In fact, not just the whole year, 52-week lows. They betted against the Federal Reserve, who you never bet against, and they're on the wrong side of the equation. You don't do that. You do not go on the wrong side of the equation. You take cautionary steps for this channel, for yourself, for your family. What do you do in the next 30 days? What do you do tonight? You get as much stimulus as you can. You raise your savings. You remove your ARDs, which are adjustable rate debt instruments. You get as much debt removed, and you get as much stimulus as possible. You get stimulus, you continue to get stimulus. Remember, when you're doing the stimulus checks, do not get discouraged if you get a no, because you got 100 to 200 checks to go get. So if you reach out to the city, one part of the city, and they say no, don't worry, because I got a lot of other places for you to go get that money. Check B, check C, and then we go into check E through O. Get that incredible sums of money. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, God bless. Become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Tonight, join me on channel LA2 for Sirloin, Javita Late, and Blaine 66 in Calcino Episode 2. And for the return of Tier 2, then on the incredible LA3, get ready for the debut of Metaverse. It's a lot coming to this incredible family for the shores of Santa Monica, California. God bless. Stay informed, stay focused. I'll see you throughout the night as the programming continues on Evenings.